Alright, so you can see I got everything taken out, doing the subframe. Got parts over here, my Wavetrac way over there. So yeah, I'm putting my Wavetrac in and swapping out the case to the CRV case. And I was going to say, you don't need any special tools really to do this, like some basic tools. So like if you want to swap out the bearing, basically it's pretty easy. So like this bearing right here, all you're going to do is lift the case up, like in this case right here. So when you want to take this bearing out, which is the same one over there, is you flip the case over and you put basically like a punch. So like that, you put a punch in there and you wedge it against the bearing and you can tap it out real easy. So you don't need any tools for that. You just basically just tap out that bearing and it comes out pretty easy. And then this bearing right here, all you do is take this off and then you pop these out with like, I don't know, like a small pry tool, and take each bearing out, because this is a, I think they call it an oil slinger right here. So you're gonna pop all this plastic out and you're gonna be left with this metal race. All you do is, so you don't hurt the thing underneath it, is you pry it up against this part of the case. You can put a piece of cardboard down if you want, and then this bearing right here, and then you just tap it with a hammer and this bearing will just pop out like real easy. So pretty much for everything, all I needed to do was use this punch, cheap Harbor Freight punch. So yeah, you go inside the case, hit it right here. You're not really supposed to hit the inner race, but this thing's not in there very tight. So you hit it and pop it out. Anytime you try to put stuff in, you always either tap it around the outside race. And the other thing I'll go over is, see these threads right here? So I have the CRV drive gear on there. And in order to get the drive gear off, these are going to be reverse threads. So if you see a flathead, on my other K20 Z3 LSD off the Civic Si, it is not reverse thread. You can see the thread head looks completely different. There's a lot of confusion with that, and I was having a real hard time getting these bolts off, because everybody, even the Helms manual, said that these are reverse thread, and they are not. So the Civic Si LSD K20 Z3 is not reverse thread on the differential bolts. So keep that in mind, because I was struggling. I had it in a vise and I was going like, what the fuck is going on? Like, so eventually I tried it the normal way and I was like, thank God it came loose. But yeah, I was torquing it. I could have broke something, but I'm not listening to people again when they say that. To know if the reverse thread or not is, you'll see an arrow on it and it'll basically, you can see what it looks like. So that's how you know if it's reverse threads, by that. This right here looks like a normal bolt because it is a normal bolt. But yeah, I was kind of ticked off and annoyed by that. So yeah, this is pretty easy stuff. Yeah, the other thing I'll go over is, you just, to get the bearings, these bearings off, I would recommend just a cheap bearing puller. I have that off of eBay. I think it was like 20 bucks. That works perfectly fine. This thing right here to take off, I basically, what I did was, on my K20 Z3, is I took the drive gear off, not the drive gear, but the differential gear off of there. And because this was off, I was able to wedge it into a vise, and I was able to tap it this way without damaging it, and I was able to tap it out. If you have a press, use a press, but that's how I was able to do it, sticking it in the vise, taking the ring gear off. Without the ring gear, I can't get this off by tapping it, because it brings it at a closer angle like this. You can tap it. I think actually no, I take that back. What I use is, I use this. Yeah, what I did was I stuck it in the vise, I put it right here, and then I tapped it with the hammer on the edge, and I kept doing that, lifting it under and tapping it without damaging the ring gear. So yeah, bam, yeah, I was just hitting it up like that. You could use this, but this was easier for me to use, and this comes in the kit for the bearing puller. And that's basically how you do that. I'm probably going to end up painting this white. That case is filthy, so I'm just going to end up cleaning it and painting it. But I'll probably, that's going to get cleaned up before I put it in the car. This case has already been cleaned, so I'm going to put together and then paint it, but I'll mask off all the holes. So this is my progress so far.